Hi, this is Vincent with the Society for Creative Anachronism and another SCAIowa video. The Society for Creative Anachronism is a worldwide historic recreation organization dedicated to recreating all the best aspects of the Middle Ages. Anything that was made, used, consumed before 1600. We have friends who enjoy learning about it, exploring it, trying it, teaching others about it. It's exploring history hands-on. This video is talking about what you could expect if you attend an event in the SCA. Now obviously, for members of the SCA, the events are some of the big things to be looking forward to, where we gather together with friends from across the region or around the country and teach and learn and have fun. It's a big part of what we are here for. So I want to kind of cover some of the basic ideas of what we could expect if you attend an event. One of the things to list off is the frequency of these events. Within our kingdom, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, and Missouri, you can expect to see about, on average, 40 events per year. This is quite a few. But remember that for the participants from Iowa, we have 2 bordering kingdoms, which means you can also attend all the events that are happening in them. There are more events than you can really afford to get to. So go ahead and check out all of the events and find out which ones are going to be interesting to you. The thing is that there are different kinds of events. Some of them that have a more generic focus, other ones have a very specific focus on a specific activity or group of people. So you'll want to find the types of events that match your interests. You can do this by checking out the information that they list online. There's usually an event website associated with these, the event flyer. This is not only going to list off basic information like the address for the event and the list of activities, but oftentimes it will list off other information like what classes are available, the food options, and various other information you'll need to know. This is really helpful when you have to choose between a couple fun events for a weekend. There are some requirements to participate at events, and these are very easily met. One of them is an attempt at historic clothing. This is the distinction between the events on the weekends and the local meetings during the week. The local meetings, you don't have to dress up. The events, you are expected to have an attempt at historic clothing. Also at the events, you have to pay a registration fee. And this ranges from between $15 to $25 for a weekend event and $80 on up for a week-long war. You'll want to check the event flyer to find out what the costs are for your particular event. When you arrive at the event, the first thing you need to do is sign in and pay your site fee. There'll also very likely be safety waivers, especially if there are things like horses on site. They may have you sign an equestrian waiver to make sure that you're aware that the horses are dangerous. And there may be other information about the event or changes since the publication of the website. After you sign in, one of the common things to do is find the common space where people are gathering and it feels like an old family reunion. You'll have friends gathering together, you'll have people working on projects. It's probably where people are gathering for food and lunch. This is also a useful place to stop by and drop off your stuff so you don't have to carry it around everywhere. Many times once you sign in, you'll also see the list of classes for the events. Now some events are just about classes, like symposiums. Other ones just have a few classes at them, and you'll have to find the list and check out and see which ones are going to be interesting to you. Some of the classes you have to sign up for in advance, other ones are first come, first serve. Remember to check to see if there's a fee involved. If it's something like a make and take project where you're taking something with you, they may expect you to contribute something for the materials. If you stop by a normal event, quite often if it's during the summer, during nice weather, there's going to be the archery and thrown weapons range. Stop by and check it out. It's a fun time and it's easy to, especially the thrown weapons range, stop by and participate. There are some safety concerns involved, obviously, and they will expect you to have closed-toed shoes if you want to participate in these activities. but it's definitely worth stopping by and checking out. Another place it's common to have is all the combat recreation at the events. You'll definitely want to check these out too. There might be youth combat, the steel combat, or the rattan style combat available. If you have questions about participating in combat recreation or just want to see the fights, stop by, ask questions, talk to people. There's always someone that's going to want to bend your ear about their part of the hobby. Another good way to spend some money at an event is to visit the merchants. Now, this changes from event to event. Some events have a lot of merchants, some have only a few. But these are going to be merchants that are a little bit different than what you may be used to at a Ren fair. So they're not so much the tchotchkes and little cutesy items. Here you're going to see things that are catering more to reenactors, so you may see more raw materials like leather or fabric or tools for the reenactor. And you'll find things specific to SCA like the armor for the combat recreation or archery equipment. But the merchants usually have something to tempt you with. Another thing to obviously think about is what you're going to eat when you get there. You can bring your own food to many events, and this is especially important for people who have dietary restrictions. Some event locations limit us on what outside food we can bring in. For instance, schools, when we rent out a school, they may have restrictions on outside food. So you'll want to check the event flyer to make sure you can do that. Another common thing to see at the events for food is a lunch-in. A lunch-in is a very basic, simple meal provided by the group, just so people don't have to leave site in order to get some food. These are different from feasts. Now, feasts are the evening meals that you have to sign up for in advance, usually at the registration table when you're coming in. There's a limited number of seats, and you're going to sign up to get a big multi-course meal. It's usually very much worth usually around $10 that you pay in order to get in. You do have to provide your own cutlery and plates though, so you'll need to remember that before you show up. You can find lists of upcoming events on the Kingdom calendar or on many of the SCAIowa resources. We try and warn people in advance before these events are coming up so that they can choose whether or not to attend. But make sure to check out the surrounding kingdoms as well. If you have questions about these events or anything else related to the SCA, make sure to reach out to us at SCAIowa on some of these resources.